What if I told you today that a person who is a mix of a Saint Bernard dog and an army medic combined into one is a very useful thing to have in your pregnancy and postpartum journey? Join me inside and I'll tell you more about it. Welcome to the Wise Doula podcast, a place for informative, uplifting, and educational conversations. Here, we will discuss all things connected with parenting, from conception to birth, postpartum, and beyond. You are amongst friends here, so go ahead and grab a cup of your favorite drink. Remember, not caffeinated if you are expecting, and join me inside. I can't wait to speak with you. Why is it so hard to accept help? Oh my goodness. So difficult. Why do we see it as a form of weakness when in reality it's not? It's a sign of strength. In today's episode, let's start by delving into why accepting help is so hard. And let me start from the point of a story that happened to me yesterday. You know, as I have transitioned from the world of education full-time into the world of doula work, childbirth education, lactation education, into being my own boss, so many times I have realized that I needed help. And so many times I shied away from asking for help because of perhaps pride or shame or feeling that it made me weak, when in reality it didn't. And I've learned over time to accept help better, but I still have my barriers, when it comes to that. So what happened to me yesterday is that I was at a professional meeting where we work on public speaking. Yesterday, we had a networking session where we could ask questions and have the rest of the members from the group give us advice, okay? And I knew I had a burning question in my heart about my business that I wanted to ask because I could use that help. And I debated whether or not to ask. I finally asked. And I kid you not, I was so shy when I asked. I was so nervous. I could feel my heart racing. I could feel my respiration, my heart rate and respiration just increasing. I was seriously nervous. And as people gave me that feedback and their wonderful advice, and some was very useful, some was in the middle, some perhaps not, I felt very reassured that it was okay that I had asked, right? Well, after the meeting ended and I had time to move on to other tasks in my day, the overthinking kind of kicked in, and I started going over it and going, maybe I bare my soul too much, maybe I said too much, maybe I shouldn't have asked. What if people thought this of me? What if people thought that of me? I think this is a normal process. I mean, for me, it is. Maybe you're not an overthinker. And if you're not, congratulations, because it's a biggie, But it got me reflecting on why accepting help is so difficult for us, right? Women, especially, and probably men too, we feel that if I ask for help, it means I cannot cope with everything. If I ask for help, it means I am not enough. It makes me feel vulnerable. It makes me feel raw. It makes me feel a little bit weak, perhaps. It's going to let people know that I'm struggling. I don't want to present that image to the world. Is any of this resonating with you? These are a lot of the things that go through my head. And I believe they go through a lot of our heads. And when you sit back, you realize, hey, if I'm at a moment when I really need the help, it's okay to ask. And it's actually better. It lets other people know what you're going through. Other people might also be see themselves reflected in what you're asking. You might help other people as well, right? Especially in a group. It might give you tools that can help you in the journey later on. So there are a lot of good benefits to asking for help. And in thinking about asking for help, my brain immediately connected, linked with the concept of where are the helpers in our environment and where are the natural healers in our environment. I'm going to go there with the natural healing. You're going to see where that's going. But remember, if you live in the US, if you grew up in the US, you know about Mr. Rogers, a very famous TV host for children programs. Wonderful person, already passed. And he always said, find the helpers, they're out there. Just find the helpers. And it makes me think that a lot of times we rely on the professionals, the people with the white lab coat, the people with this title or that title. And that's great. Those people need to be in our life, okay? Especially in the context of being in a fertility journey, in pregnancy, in postpartum. They need to be in our life. But we are neglecting to realize there are other people in our life who are helpers. And I'm going to go a step ahead and I'm going to say they're natural helpers and they're natural healers. What do I mean by a natural healer? What do I mean by that? I mean a person that has that good mix of a Saint Bernard dog, you know, the dogs that rescue lost mountain climbers, and an army medic that can run into any battlefield and make sure they take care of you the best they can with the tools they have. So there are people in our lives that are a mix of those two things, the Saint Bernard and the army medic combined into one person. And they are natural healers. Why? Because these people, immediately, every day of their life, they're always thinking about how to help others. They want to bring nurturing and calm and healing into other people's lives. And healing can come in many ways. It's not just healing with, medical healing. Healing can be spiritual, healing can be a kind word. It can come in many forms. So this type of people, you might think, oh, well, people that are natural healers probably end up in healthcare. A lot of them end up in healthcare. A lot of them don't. Some of them go into finances, acting, teaching, working in an office. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't always end up in healthcare. They end up in every realm, in every profession. But no matter what they do in their full-time job, every fiber of their being is about helping. And I went into this reflection because I was talking to a friend. We were talking about a friend in common, and I said, he's a natural healer. Then I thought, was that an exaggeration? Maybe I went overboard with that concept. The next day, when I woke up, I thought, no, 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 no. That's it. That's it. I was exactly right. So I wonder if those people are in your life. I wonder if you put on your special glasses to detect these very special superheroes, would you find them? I think you would. Perhaps now you can start thinking about a few of them. And why am I telling you about these natural healers? Why am I saying they're important in any time in our lives, but especially when we are going through a fertility journey, a pregnancy, a postpartum period? Why? Well, number one, these people are going to complement what the medical professionals are helping you with. They're not going to substitute. And I'm always going to say, first and foremost, ask all your questions of your medical professional, okay, or professionals. But these natural healers that exist in your life are sitting there on the sidelines, perhaps. They are, oh, so eager to help, but sometimes they're not sure if they should say something. They're not sure how they could help you best. So, a lot of times, natural healers, we tend to stay on the sidelines a little bit and see what it is that we need to do. So, like I'm saying, just because they don't have the white lab coat, it doesn't mean they're any less useful in your life. They are a good complement to your medical advice. They are people that bring wisdom into your life that you never know what kind of wisdom it is that you need, and it's coming from them. They are a strong person to lean on when you're going through difficult times. And they bring with them their life experience, and that can help you too. So, how am I envisioning this in pregnancy, in postpartum, in your fertility journey? I know a lot of times, especially in this situation, when we are going through all these processes, it's very intimate, it's very raw. We're learning as we go many times, and it's very easy to doubt ourselves. And it's very easy to build that protective shell around us and be like, no, 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 no. I don't need anybody. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everybody, look, I'm fine. When in reality, inside, you're not fine. Okay. You're going through a process that it's complicated in many ways. And you're going to have doubts. You're going to have questions outside of the regular medical questions that, yes, you're going to ask to your medical provider because that's the main place to ask these questions. There are going to be times in between visits when you are going to be perhaps struggling with mental health or anxiety, okay? Perhaps worrying about what things are going to look like for your family. Perhaps feeling really lonely in some of the feelings you're having and not sure that anybody understands. Perhaps sitting in your head, just going on and on about stuff, overthinking, and feeling like nobody understands, nobody knows what is happening. I really encourage you to find these natural healers in your life. Like I said, they could be in a myriad of professions. Okay, they could be in healthcare, they could not. But how you're going to be able to identify them is because just like a St. Bernard, just like an army medic, they're going to come to the rescue. These are the people that are always going to be checking on you, even if it's lightly. Okay? These are the people that are going to send you a nice little message to see how you're doing. Or perhaps check with you on social media, or perhaps a text. In their interactions with you, they're always going to be positive and helpful. I mean, not everybody, nobody's positive 100% of the time, let's be honest. We're all human. But I mean, they're going to approach the interaction with you from a positive standpoint, from a helpful standpoint. Now, Natural healers are very different from the busybodies that wanna have an opinion about absolutely everything we are doing or not doing during fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum, e- early parenting. That's a different set of people. And you will know them because busybodies will always be sharing opinions that you didn't ask for. They will always be judging everything you do. And they will always be telling you that their way is better than your way. And boy, we could talk about that for hours. In fact, we will talk about that in another episode. But the busybodies, they exist. We know they're part of life. With them, we have to set those boundaries and we have to be like, thank you for your advice. I'm doing okay. But the natural healers, you're going to see them in their actions. You're going to see them in their interactions, right? You're going to see that desire, deep desire to help, to support you, even if they're a little bit on the sidelines and not quite sure and a little bit shy at first because they don't want to step on your toes. You're going to see their heart shining through. And you never know in life, right? You never know where wisdom is going to come from. A lot of times we think, well, wisdom is going to come from this place and this place. Or, all the learning I had to do, I did it in A, B, or C degree or A, B, or C grade in school or whatever it is. You could think this way. You could think that's all the knowledge is supposed to come from a certain place. But the interesting thing in life, and if you let me share something that I think has dawned on me more and more as I, you know, move through my 40s and into 50, is that wisdom and lessons come from everywhere. Good people with good wisdom to share. They come from so many places, and many times they come from the most unexpected places. Unexpected. One day, a friend that you didn't know was going through the same thing as you helps you, finds out what's going on with you, and helps you. Another day, a video somebody recommends opens your eyes to a whole new universe, to a whole new mindset. Another day, somebody that's in your life that might be a little bit shy at first really shows up for you and helps you and heals you in a way that no medical establishment can, okay? Like I said, these people are a beautiful complement to the medical system, to what your doctor is telling you, in the same way that an army medic or a St. Bernard dog will not work in isolation, right? They will be part of a team and they will work with other professionals. So these people are perhaps professional in a very different way, in a spiritual way, and they can really make the difference for you. Like I said, they can make you feel less alone. They can offer an ear when you need to talk about things. And yes, it's okay to talk about things. Remember, we are all human beings going through very similar experiences, and we understand each other more than we think. So they can do that. They can provide insights and wisdoms that maybe you hadn't thought about. Well, that's pretty amazing. And they can really enrich your life. They really, really enrich your life and your parenting experience. Outside of the busybodies, inside with the natural healers. So, my task for you today is honestly to think about who in your life is a natural healer. What are the signs that you have seen that they cannot wait to help, support, and nurture? That they cannot wait to heal people in their own unique, awesome way. And how can you best take advantage of that? Don't be alone in your fertility, pregnancy, or postpartum journey. Be with people. Build that tribe. Build that group of natural healers that already exist in your life. Just put on your special glasses and find them because they are there. And the same way they will enrich your life, you will enrich theirs too. Okay. So before we go, I always like to do a little segment where we talk about birth in the movies. I am a huge fan of Call the Midwife, the show, the British show. I have also read the book, The Midwife, which was the Jennifer Worth's memoirs, and I totally recommend it. And the show is wonderful. My husband laughs because I've watched it so many times, not even funny. But there was an episode I was watching the other day that really stayed with me. And there was a mom that was struggling with breastfeeding. And she was also struggling with comparison. Her older sister got twins, and she was doing great with breastfeeding. She, in appearance, was doing amazing. This other mom was really struggling with the baby, and she was very adamant to get help. She was very ashamed. She felt very vulnerable in the sense that she was struggling. When the midwife went to her house and she finally said that she had troubles, and she showed her what was going on, the makeup department had done a great job because they had applied makeup on her breast like she had mastitis, which is an inflammation and an infection in the breast tissue, and it's pretty gnarly. And they talked about, how she had mastitis and she was having a lot of pain. They showed her breastfeeding while crying, which was really powerful visually. And what I really liked is that, number one, the midwife character offered compassion and love and nurturing, embraced her for the experience she was having, and then moved on to find help for her, And they found help in the form of a postpartum center where they had nurses to help with lactation day and night. And the mom went there. And it made me reflect on how important it is that we have more and more places like that where our parents during the postpartum can be supported in whatever lactation journey they choose. They still need to be supported. And we, of course, in an ideal world, nobody would feel like that. But in the real world, issues with breastfeeding happen. Issues with confidence, with not wanting to ask for help, with feeling shame, feeling, raw, feeling vulnerable. All of those happen because we are human beings living this very human being experience, this very, high and low, up and down experience. And how awesome it is that we can have help for people in those moments. I would love to encourage you to become an advocate for a better postpartum period with me, for a more supported postpartum period. And I invite you to watch Call the Midwife. I think all the episodes have such wonderful lessons that they can teach us. And sorry, I don't have the number of the episode, but if somebody's curious, let me know in the comments. And of course, I will share that. Well, it's been a pleasure spending time with you today. I hope you will come back next week. Have a good one. Bye. Hey, you have listened to the Wise Doula podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everything we discussed today was meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not substitute the advice of your medical provider. Would you do us a favor? follow me on Instagram at lovingbellydula. Also, let me know what other topics you would like to see me discuss in this podcast. And please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platforms. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.